Hi, I'm Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, September 21st, and this is the search news brought to you by the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com. Thanks for watching. So first up, we have that this morning I reported that there may have been a Google algorithm update, a shift of the Google algorithm that affected sites around the September 18th, 19th, 20th time frame. We have some chatter in the different forums. We also have some reports. Some automated tools showing those shifts. So Mozcast 105, you can see the slide up there in terms of most of these tools showing some changes around the 19th or so. So if you were impacted, definitely take a look at your rankings and see if anything's going on there. Google also posted or told CNBC that in 2017 they did 2,453 changes to the search results. Obviously some of that is UI, user interface related, some of it is feature changes and so forth, and some of it is algorithmic. We don't know the difference. But I go into those in the past counts, 500 updates, 500 updates, 665. These are the past years and so forth. So Google's constantly changing things, and so should you. You should constantly be testing things and trying things out. Google did a major batch of MobileFirst indexing notifications this past week, starting around Tuesday, tons on Wednesday, tons on Thursday. So they are going ahead and moving more sites over to the MobileFirst indexing process. Usually the notification comes days or maybe a week after that actually happened. So definitely take a look at that. If your site did move over, that means Google does see your site to be somewhat equivalent, mostly equivalent to the desktop version and the mobile version. So Google said, I posted this morning that Google said that still Google has not migrated every site over. It will take years for that to actually happen. If your site did migrate over, Google's John Mueller said that it is probably mostly, he said over here, it seems that the shift means that your site is seen as mostly equivalent on desktop and mobile, which is great. If not, then your site probably is not mostly equivalent yet. This site, Search Engine Roundtable, was not migrated over yet because it's really not mostly equivalent. I need to do that. And John also said you probably shouldn't see major fluctuations when you are moved over, at least currently. But obviously, if your desktop site is different than your mobile site, it will change your rankings. Of course, Google said these past batches have been about equivalence, so you really shouldn't see many changes. Bing finally launched AMP in their search results. It's only in the top stories or news stories sections. You can see here, if you do a search, you see the news section has the AMP logo, whereas the same result does not have the AMP logo in the core web result. And when you click on it, you get an AMP looking like page. Again, Google did this over 2 years ago, and Bing is following suit. Google said they do index and rank content that's in accordance, despite what people are saying. So some studies have come out saying Google's not indexing my content. Of course, you have to make sure the site is on the mobile-friendly first index, mobile-first index, so forth. But Google said, yes, we will, and we are indexing content that is mobile content that found in accordions or tabs. Of course, there could be technical difficulties with that, but generally Google is indexing that content. Google said, responded to complaints about auto-translated content spam, and they basically said it's about intent. So somebody brought up that some sites are using Google's Translate tool, which is really, really good and getting really, really smart, and it's kind of hard for even humans to understand the difference between a human translated page and a Google translated page because of how smart Google Translate is. And John Mueller said, yeah, it could be an issue, but again, it's really about intent. If people are spamming Google with Google Translate, that could be an issue. But if they're doing it on a page-by-page basis and they really think it's good and they don't have an intent of spamming Google, they're just doing it because they think it's useful for the user, it's probably okay. Obviously, if you're doing it in mass scales and you're really trying to manipulate Google search results, Google has the right to take action. It is against Google's guidelines to use Google Translate in an automated fashion to go ahead and translate all these pages and to spam Google. I'm sorry. Bing also has dropped their public URL submission tool. So Google did this back in July, where they dropped the ability to submit any URL to Google's index without logging in to Google Search Console. Bing is now doing the same thing. They dropped their anonymous submit URL to index tool, and they are now requiring people to go to the Bing Webmaster Tools section to go ahead and submit submit URLs to the Bing index. This is funny. Google's John Mueller responded to somebody asking, can you hypnotize somebody in order to get links? Is that against Google's guidelines? And of course, it doesn't say anything specifically about hypnotizing you, but everybody watching now, Follow this, focus on it, getting sleepy yet, and then go ahead and link to my website, please. You get the joke, but it's pretty funny to see people posting and thinking about things like that. Google may be testing a blue shield icon for government websites. You can see this coming up. I didn't see this coming up, but some people have seen this come up for the IRS website. We have this little blue shield. They promised me there's no extensions. They're using incognito on Safari iPhone. So that's interesting to see. We did email Google to find out if it's real or if it's some type of weird thing. I have not heard back yet. Google is testing image refinement buttons with images in them. So you can see that here. Do a search for cat, and these not just include bubbles, which is what you usually see, just bubbles of answers, of refinements, but images as well in there. So Google's testing that. I haven't seen it roll out yet. Google did roll out site links, in some cases, with images in them, site links carousels. So here's an example. CNBC actually covered this, but you can see here that the site links have images in them for some search results. Used to not, but now they kind of do. I see that myself now in search. Google is testing tabs on branded search result knowledge panels. So a search for Google usually shows like this. Whoops, what happened here? Usually shows this, just a normal search knowledge panel. But somebody's able to say, hey, if you do a search for Google, you get these kind of tabs, which is usually only reserved for local knowledge panels. Google Maps is showing future open dates for businesses that are about to open. It's basically you're able to go ahead and go into Google My Business and add the future open date, and it actually will show it to you here. Opens on Wednesday, September 12th, and once it's open, it has the label saying it has recently opened. Google My Business reviews can be edited directly in the local panel in web search now. You used to just be able to edit your reviews in Google My Business, or if you were leaving the review yourself, so that's pretty cool. Google has added videos to shopping ads in the search results. So if you want and you have shopping ads, you can actually add videos, which they're calling showcase shopping ads. Here's a GIF of it in action. So you're shopping for mirrors, and you can see there's little videos here that can actually play showcasing that item. And finally, Google Maps finally is on CarPlay, Apple CarPlay. I use CarPlay all the time. I love it. The only issue was Apple Maps, and Apple Maps search feature is horrible to find locations that you need to go to. The traffic I don't really depend on too well, but it's pretty good. But Google Maps is obviously a lot more data out there. They're pretty much better at traffic and GPS. Plus, they have great search. So if I'm looking for a location, it's not going to take me to I'm trusting it's not going to take me to the wrong location. Whereas Apple Maps, I really don't trust Apple Maps to take me to the right location when I search for, let's say, a store that I want to go to or something in any event. So it's out there. It's really great. Waze is coming soon, I believe. And when that comes out, hopefully I'll do a bigger review at Search Engine Land. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and that's the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Again, today is Friday, September 21st. Heads up, Monday and Tuesday is a Jewish holiday of Sukkot. I'll be completely offline. I do hope to publish and schedule stories that will go live on those dates. I'll probably write on Sunday, which is not a holiday, and have them scheduled to go live on the holiday when I'll be offline. Anyone, have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.